Hi everyone, it's Gary Nicholson here for the Mountain Weather Information Service. This is your Planning Outlook video updated on Tuesday the 6th of February. Now overall it's a generally cold story over the next week to 10 days with only brief incursions of less cold air coming in within Atlantic frontal systems. That will bring some rain and a thaw of lying snow on lower slopes, but on most higher terrain it'll stay sub-zero throughout. Some further snowfalls will come down to lower levels at times. Winds will vary from day to day, generally as west or northwesterlies. Some days will see winds up to gale force though. Now let's have a look at those temperatures. This is the 850 millibar chart. It's at around 4,500 to 5,000 feet in the atmosphere at this stage. And you can see that tongue of milder air that comes in later Wednesday as a warm front just comes in, rising towards freezing point on the highest tops, I suspect, but only briefly, because once that goes through into Thursday, colder air does follow. But I think at the very least across most of the hills of England and Wales, you'll just lift above freezing for a period there. Thursday into Friday sees a push of much colder air come in from the west and values on the higher summits down to -6, -7 across Scotland by that stage. We're into that cold air mass through late Friday into Saturday, but the next warm front will try and come in by that stage, and through Saturday a lift of freezing level once again, and maybe a thaw of any lying snow across at lower levels and maybe up towards higher tops in some places for England and Wales. Higher tops in Scotland though staying sub-zero, and we see those values drop again as we go through into Sunday. And on the whole, we stay with that colder air mass through into the early part of next week. Again, brief pushes of less cold air might just try and come in from the southwest. Here's the weather maps for the next few days, and Wednesday's got that warm front coming in. Essentially a dry and a bright day for many places, but the western highlands of Scotland will deteriorate fairly quickly as that front edges in, with snow coming in and turning more persistent from the west coast as time goes on, and lowering cloud through the day as well. Winds will strengthen towards gale force across the northwest highlands in particular in the afternoon on Wednesday. Now, there's still a degree of uncertainty on exactly what happens during Thursday daytime. It looks as though those fronts will pass through, and colder air that we just saw follows behind that cold front. So much of Scotland may well get away with a bright day with some showers of snow and hail coming in from the west, whilst eastern areas are somewhat brighter. From the southern uplands southwards, though, a greater risk of more persistent rain across the hills, with snow perhaps on the higher tops at times, just depending how cold that air remains. Across Wales, it could well rain much of the day, particularly on the western hills, and this little feature towards the southwest may then drive in later to pep up that rain and turn things heavier before the whole thing starts to push eastwards on Thursday evening and night. And that does complicate things because that timing of that cold front clearing east is crucial then for Friday's forecast. Colder air that was tucking into the back of that may well give snow extensively across the hills, even to lower levels on the back edge of that front as it clears late Thursday into Friday. But it should be an improving day and brighter skies coming in with snow and hail showers largely around western coastal fringes, maybe frequent across coastal mountains in western Scotland, but few showers really towards the eastern side of Scotland, and the Pennines may well improve as well once any early snow does clear. At this stage, just best to keep a close eye on those local details. Things could change slightly for Friday at this time. Now, Saturday sees more fronts coming in from the Atlantic. Timing again is open to some question, but could deteriorate with a spell of widespread upland gales and rain or snow pretty extensively across western mountains. For a spell in that warm sector, you could find it's mostly rain up to higher tops, but across Scotland, most of the precipitation could fall as snow, and increasingly so once that cold front comes in from the west. Showers will then follow. And the whole country looks as though it's back into that colder air mass by Sunday, as we saw on those temperature charts, with a legacy of showers. These may be frequent at times across western mountains, brighter skies and fewer showers across more eastern regions. Winds may still remain strong across Scotland, but look as though they do decrease to some degree across England and Wales. Now, the bigger picture into the start of next week maintains a cold westerly airstream across the British Isles. The air is originating from northern Canada and Greenland. It's a polar maritime air mass, as we call it, which is quite unstable, so you'll see some heavy showers of snow, some hail, some isolated thunder in there at times, and maybe some longer spells of snow and rain coming in, just depending on the temperatures from day to day, which again I think next week will fluctuate. Low pressure over the North Atlantic looks like it dominates and may well bring some periods of widespread gales, although detail is uncertain at this stage for the middle of the week. And the overall theme into mid-February looks as though lower pressure is still quite nearby. High pressure is focused over the pole and towards northern Russia, which will still have some role to play, and it may start to create a blockage in the upper atmosphere as we go further down the line. It's been something that's been floating around on the models for a little while, but I think for the time being we're still stuck with the wind flows coming in off the North Atlantic, with that colder air originating from Canada and Greenland, rather than anything particularly coming in from Siberia or Scandinavia just for now, but things may yet change as we go further through mid to late February. All of that means that we stay on the unsettled side as we head into next week, but still with that generally cold air in place, so the mountains should still have their winter coat on as we head through the middle part of the month. We'll update this video again for you on Friday with the full outlook for next week. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.